Hello, herd. Another unicorn chef. Well, in this case, just Mike. But the show is still called Unicorn Chef.
Sure.
Want to give a shout out to Mike for jumping in at the last minute. So I apologize for those of you who are all ready to join us to make a really cool meal with Lena. Unfortunately, she got some really bad news about one of her dogs. And that actually brings up the charity that we chose for tonight, Mike.
Yeah, just, I've always said go to your local SPCA. If you can't donate money, donate some time. They need love just as much as we do, and they give it back in spades. So do what you can for them.
All right, I'm making fun of you in the chat.
That makes sense. I'm glad. And
there you go. Yeah, so there are lots of animals, dogs, cats, pets that need your love. And so always adopt, always try to go get a rescue. And so through, in honor of what Lena's going through, that is the charity we're highlighting for tonight. Now on to the formal part of the show. As you all know, hashtag Unicorn Chef. We love to see what you make. We love to see your pictures. And tonight in particular is going to be two very different takes on a similar kind of cooking style. So we're going to see how that comes out because we're going to be doing that on the show. First question, Mike, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a delicious 2021 Cabernet Sauvignon, fresh from the bladder. It's delicious.
You really do have a knack for, just picking the perfect box.
It's a complicated process for me at the liquor store because I want to make sure I'm appreciating the tannins that are going to be coming, the bouquets and the fragrances. And you can only get that by stabbing the bladder in the liquor store, spilling it on the floor, saying sorry, and then licking the floor. COVID has made that a little complicated, but I managed to get it done.
I'm glad that you still bring your Canadian sensibilities of politeness, even in situations that are inappropriate, which of course you're most common with.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking Guinness Draught Stout. So this one has the nitrogen cartridge.
Fancy.
So for St. Patrick's Day, they had 6 packs of these for $9. I bought out the entire store. I have boxes of them over here. And actually my favorite drink, but I ran out of the ciders. I love black velvets. So I'll do a half and half of cider and Guinness.
Speaking of Canadianisms, if Black Velvet, YouTube a song by Alana Miles called Black Velvet. It's like a tacky karaoke Black Velvet in a little girl's town. It's good. I sing it.
Yeah. No, I mean tacky. That's why you brought it up.
Basically, So I need to clarify something. I'm making rice.
Oh, you are making rice? Actually, that is a good idea. Rice would go really well with mine. So just to explain what I'm doing, because Mike's going to walk us through his recipe, and I went a bit of a different direction. So since this was last minute, I didn't have broccoli, but I did have a whole bunch of fresh bok choy. So I kind of went with an Asian take on this. So mine is going to be flavored with coriander, cumin, ginger, a hint of cayenne for my breaded chicken. And then I'm going to do fresh bok choy with garlic, onions, lemongrass, and a black garlic shoyu. And that would be wonderful over rice. So I'm going to go and do rice now too. Great idea. Last good idea I've ever heard you have.
So now I feel like trash because I'm just doing bacon and chicken. A little bit different. Half a cup of dry rice.
All right, so why don't you start walking us through that while I get my rice going.
A little bit less than a cup of water. I'm going to put it on the stove on high until I see the first couple bubbles, and then I'm going to let it simmer until it's done. Not burnt El Jefe.
I was about to say, I thought you used the fire alarm for that versus like a timer.
I still get, from being on the show a couple times, it's right in the fire alarm that's really defined me, and butt punches, butthole karate chop.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping you wouldn't bring that up again because that really was like viscerally disturbing.
That was disturbing. Yeah. So
Right.
after I do my rice is on the stove. I start on just cooking 4 slices of bacon. The pan on high.
So I had not planned on doing bacon with this, but I'm going to give that a shot too. Why not?
I started cooking this when I was a lot younger, and I was working out at the gym all the time, and I was trying desperately to get calories and force feeding
Wait, you've
myself.
been in a gym before?
Yeah, twice.
Oh,
Twice. I was the janitor.
Well, this was like the 90s?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Honestly, it was like 95 when I was doing this. But yeah, I would basically take chicken, hollow it out, fill it with bacon and cheese, and bake it because I was eating just bland stuff that doesn't help you poop. You're welcome for that visual. For the record.
Yeah, this is a cooking show. Maybe we keep it scatological to the after dinner talk. I'm just going to be impressed. I'm just impressed you actually got food to the stove in like 5 minutes. That's a world record for you.
That was Rob's fault. I'm going to blame him because he's not here to defend himself, and that makes it all easier.
Yeah, I know. This is why you troll the second graders.
Yes.
Best to stick to your own mental capacity, right?
Well, duh. I don't want to be outshone.
Yeah, what are you going to do when your kid grows up, like turns 4?
He's a trip, man.
You really have a very cute kid. It's just astonishing.
I praise my wife for that, as I'm sure everybody does, because she's 1,000 times more beautiful than I am. Now, if you're French Canadian and you're putting this in a pan, you would see 4-piece bacon side by each. 4 pieces of bacon side by side.
So you recently I guess you took kind of a promoted move to another company.
Yeah. The company that I was with before, it's so weird when you change a job because I say we all the time. Like, I don't work there anymore, so there's no we. But the company that I was with got bought by its competitor. And its competitor, they'll sue me for saying something terrible, I'm sure, but they're garbage. They're absolutely terrible. So wasn't happy. I wasn't necessarily looking, but another company reached out and said, "Hey, we like your LinkedIn," and I thought it was bullshit. You get LinkedIn things all the time. So, I kind of looked who the person was and checked her out and made sure that she was actually a real human being. And I just wrote her back and said, I'm willing to have a conversation. And it took off and it worked out. And I'm very happy where I am. I was happy where I was, but I wasn't happy. So,
this almost sounds like that first time you got married to that Russian mail order bride. Kind of a very similar story.
She was not nice.
Well, she was a man.
Okay, I have to stop telling you things. I called her Katinka. It still made me feel masculine. It was fine until he left. She left until she left.
All right, so how far do we want to get our bacon going here?
Like 3/4. If you like your bacon crispy, don't ever put it in chicken. But you're basically cooking the chicken. You're cooking the bacon down, so it's still relatively pliable inside the chicken. It's not going to have an impact on it. It's not going to bend it. And it's going to continue to cook while it's inside the chicken anyway. So taking it to 3/4 is absolutely perfect.
I always like these kinds of things where we're rendering the fats out to use later too.
I'm going to cook an onion down in the fats, in the bacon fat.
Yeah. So this is, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say when I butterfly my chicken, in the pocket of the chicken, I'm going to have cooked down onion, I'm going to have bacon, and I'm going to have cheese, And then over top of the chicken, I'm going to layer a couple pieces of chicken on top so the fat gets down. Not like get down boogie, like I'm actually doing a stanky leg. You can't see it, but it's kind of my move. So the onion will already be pre-seasoned with bacon inside the chicken, cooked down. Everybody's happy. That's that.
Yeah, so at Pancakes Con the other Sunday, in celebration of Women's History Month, so I did the first part on detection engineering and then moved right into going on about Julia Child. And so, of course, so the recipe I did was coq au vin, and I used, of course, you render the bacon to start with, pull it out, and then go from there.
I actually broke my iPad when you put up that picture of your coq au vin because I bit it. It looks so good.
Yeah, I've also gotten a lot better at the photography skills of my food. So I've in the last few weeks, I've kind of learned how to use natural lighting in a mix of direct and soft with some post-processing to come up with some pretty amazing looking pictures where, the food's pretty good, but the pictures, I think I've taken that to another level. So
do you use your beard to hold the camera so you can take like GoPro chest shots?
No, I have generally found that none of this should be inside the food.
Oh.
The food's supposed to, it's a one-way relationship.
Oh.
Yeah, like the way most people walk on the other side of the street away from you. One way. Oh.
I thought that was because of COVID. They had to be.
Right, they were doing it before COVID.
Oh, you're right. I bought soap. It's in the mail, and it's taking a while. It's not my fault. The bacon is a bit. So when I do the chicken breast, I do it in the oven at 400. They don't do them in their own. I do them in their own little pocket, and I'll show you. I take tin foil and I make a basket out of the tin foil by turning out.
Are we going to sear these before we put them in the oven? Are we going to sear them before we put them in the oven?
I personally don't, but you can, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to use that bacon grease. I'm going to sear mine and then throw them in this to do a finish.
Good call. Have you ever made popcorn with bacon grease before?
No, actually I haven't. Tell me more.
I've always thought about doing it, but I always thought that'd be like the ultra in fat guy to make bacon popcorn.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of an American thing. So if you really want to complete your citizenship, you are supposed to find 23 ways to use bacon other than just eating it directly. Actually, kind of a citizenship requirement.
I missed that. I missed that. I have to do that.
Well, that's why you still live in fear of the INS. I'm telling you, man, I can help you. I really can. I don't know why you don't trust me more. I mean, it's not that I make fun of you. It's really just constructive criticism from a friend.
I stopped crying like 2 days ago from the stuff that you say.
Was it 2 days? I mean, you really blotted it out really well before the show started.
It was today. Was the last time. It was today.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like 20 minutes, but it's 2 days, right? Is that like a Canadian thing, like metric system?
You have to take 33%.
Don't start crying now. Just take a breath, okay?
Okay.
Okay. You're saying? I hate that when I get one bacon that is exactly where I want it, and the other one is like lagging behind.
Do you have a gas stove?
Yeah, I only cook with gas. I hate electric stoves. I've had that once in my life, and I just could not. You just don't feel it, right? Like you can't quite tell what it's doing. feel what's happening.
All right, that bacon is almost good.
So what is your new job?
Say that again.
What is your new job?
Basically, I basically the owner of the order to cash process. So the way that customers are brought on the company, the way that customers are billed, and the way that customers are collected, or sorry, credit adjudicated from, and the way that customers are collected on. So it's like life cycle management.
So what's something you've already learned from doing this new job?
You catch a lot more flies with honey. It's better to be the one that people look forward to talking to rather than the person that they're afraid of, even from a commercial sense. And at the end of the day, everybody goes to sleep. There's not much value. There's not much value in confrontation and anger. My industry is pretty much relegated on the perception of confrontation. You know, the person calls to collect the bill, or the person calls to ask. You know, there's always that. You know, oh, good, I have to fight with this person, but you don't need to.
So, I mean, I remember that you used to be, you were like a bouncer in a previous life, right?
Yep.
I mean, kind of a similar sort of skill set with de-escalation and dealing with people.
Yeah, it's easier. It's easier to relate to somebody and have them bend to your will, you know. Than it is to put somebody in an arm lock and just make them do what you want. It's kind of pointless. But, you know, I spent from the time I was 18 to the time that I was 24 with Universal and House of Blues and doing toured venue security for some pretty significant bands, some Canadian bands that aren't really as well known. But, you know, why fight? It's pointless. I've always been big and, you know, intimidating and incredible and bad. So there wasn't a ton of value for, you know, going home hurt.
So you were a bouncer up in Canada?
Yeah. Yeah. When you do,
I mean, isn't that like being a bassist in a metal band?
Sorry. Okay, one more time, my friend.
I said, isn't that like being a bouncer in Canada? Isn't that like being a bassist in a metal band?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're there, but everybody's polite. So what's the point?
The hardest part was keeping track of these maple syrup. They're, you know, everybody gets given a certain amount when they walk in the bar that they have to get through, you know. That was difficult to manage, but people were pretty good about it in general. So my bacon is off, my onions are in.
Yeah, so I'm browning my chicken right now, and then I'm gonna work my onions after I do that.
I'm going to butterfly my chicken boobies. No. How many people are actually in chat?
Quite a few. In fact, some of them are impressed with your knife skills, especially the way you held an onion.
This is a Kramer by Wusthof. It's shaved sharp and ridiculously good. Jacques Papin, who's a beautiful human being, says, a sharp knife is a pleasure to cook with.
And you not cutting yourself makes us all happy.
Well, that's because Amy taught me how to do it, to be quite Jim.
Yeah, so you gonna make an appearance?
Yeah, at the very end. She's adorable. She loves you, man.
I like her very much too.
Which is weird because you make me cry. Yeah.
I mean, maybe she just likes to see that sensitive side of you. And you get it through me being insensitive. Like it's a win.
I support that. Oh. Yeah, a sharp knife is absolutely mandatory. You cannot have a dull knife. You can, but you're most likely to cut yourself on a dull knife.
So there was an episode of about a month ago with a former Cajun chef, and his approach is, of course, a sharp knife is important. He just gets a cheap knife, uses it until it's dead, and then just keeps going through them.
He was really cool.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. I really enjoyed getting to. So I've been doing this over a year now, and just getting to meet all the different kinds of folks, learning all the different sorts of tricks in the kitchen. I mean, we all still have things to learn, and I've loved just getting all these like little extras, and then be able to combine them all over time. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think I think you said it, but I don't think a lot of people touch on that. You're doing this every single week, every Wednesday.
Yeah, well, except for the 2 weeks that you took over as host, which I appreciate.
Well, of course.
And again, thank you for jumping on this one last minute.
Brother, I'm here for you. So, chicken is filleted,
Butterfly.
Butterfly. So you're looking for a haddock-sized piece.
Question from the audience. If you're Canadian, why does this recipe not have poutine?
That's actually part of this recipe. The next evolution of this is poutine. And they call it poutine, but it's actually poutine. Écoute-moi. Poutine. Dans la tabernacle.
Is this the like one thing in your life that you get to be superior about?
Yes. Yeah. That and my ability to be sexually incredible in my own mind.
I mean, that creepy smile, makes me think you're happy.
Hey, that creepy smile got me angry. So. And who was
it the smile that did it?
Who asked that question so I can obliterate them on Twitter?
Oh, that was Mags.
Mags? She's awesome.
Let's see what we got. Yeah. Trudy says with female bacon and curds.
Oh God, yeah.
Aaron is a big fan of Amy. Likes the one who was giving you the credit. Tony's just laughing. Kai is impressed at your pickup artist capabilities.
Thank you.
I think he was humoring you.
So for those of you who don't know, Trudy is actually my sister. So by all means, torture her. She was very mean to me when we were kids. Very mean.
Why was that?
I used to have sex with all her friends.
Why was that actually?
Because I couldn't believe it.
You couldn't believe that you were able to do that?
Yeah, you've seen me.
Okay.
Onion and bacon fat. That was my nickname in college.
What was your nickname in college?
Onion and bacon fat.
And why was that?
Because it didn't rhyme with the title of your sex tape.
All right.
Onion going on chicken.
Wait, how are you doing the onions and the chicken?
So I'm just resting it in the center of the butterfly.
Okay. So, all right.
I took that rest.
Stuff onions in the chicken.
You can.
I think I'm going to just use mine on the side.
Cool.
Dollop of lemongrass in the middle of my chicken.
I don't cook with enough lemongrass. I should.
So I mean, lemongrass is kind of difficult to work with, and it also strangely doesn't last as long for me. But I'm a huge fan of the tubes where it's already prepared for you. And they're kind of like 95% as good. for some chunky chickens.
So this is what my chicken ends up looking like.
Nice. Here is mine because I've already browned it.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Mine's going in to bake. Did you pound yours thinner?
No, I actually didn't. I didn't.
It just looked like your cut was like really, really thin.
Yeah. If you do the cut well enough, or not well enough, it's not a brag or anything like that. But, if you do the cut well enough, everything's uniform. By the time you fold it, it's going to be the same size anyway, so you'll get good cooking on it, or at least it will cook even. Better said.
All right. Let's see what else is going on. Trudy does not want to be publicly acknowledged as your sister, I think. Either that or she's not happy that you were sharing your, previous imaginary exploits.
It could have happened. It's highly unlikely.
Could it have? Really?
My sister's a trip, man.
Yeah, what am I going to get to meet her?
As soon as kind of COVID's over, well, over is a bad way to put it, but as soon as there's some better controls around COVID and travel, I'm desperate for my sister to come up and meet her grandkid. You old bitch. To meet her nephew. My sister gifted me with 2 nephews when I was a lot younger. So she was able to give me that incredible gift of watching them grow and listening to them laugh and helping them buy marijuana. So I hope my sister gets out here as soon as she can. She loves that kid. That kid loves her. My goodness.
Could you say marijuana again? The way that you say it clearly shows that you're a pro.
Marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Satan's lettuce. No. Ooh, so
What's the first thing you're gonna do when life returns to normal-ish?
Amy and I were going to go to the restaurant that we really love. It's called Kitty's. It's in Massachusetts. We're going to sit down, order a carafe of wine, and look at people. Haven't seen people in a long time. And then we're going to have a good meal.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, we're just going to have a good meal. Hang out, just be with each other. We've been with each other for forever anyways, but to have a conversation in public and to have somebody else cook for you and with kiddo, we kind of look forward to taking them to Bass Pro Shop so you can see the fit.
Taking them to what?
Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's.
Oh yeah, I know Cabela's.
Yeah. Chicken. En français, dans le bateau, in their little boats. $400. Good. Oh.
All right. I've got my bok choy going. Oh, forgot to add lemongrass, and I'll add that afterward. All right. I think I'm pretty much set to just watch what you're doing now.
Cool. So I've seasoned my chicken. And I'm taking pieces of bacon.
How did you season your chicken?
Salt, pepper, onion powder, and cumin. A little bit of cumin, not much. All right.
Frozen or fresh veggies for you?
Fresh. Fresh. Clean board. Clean
What was
blade.
the seasoning with the red cap?
Say that one more time.
What was the seasoning with the red cap?
Garlic powder.
So sort of classic big thing of garlic.
Yeah. SPG. Salt, pepper, garlic. Oh. No more questions from my fans? Nothing?
Well, I mean, fans is a strong word for an audience that's trying to watch a car crash.
So any questions from your fans?
This show's about you, not me. What's something you've learned from the show over all the time?
To be blunt, from the first one, how to actually start cooking. It's interesting. You get stuck in the joy of talking and making jokes, you're having fun, and how to actually get going. El Jefe was a good example of that because he was just business. This is what we're gonna do. So I'm like, fucking, I'm gonna do what you're gonna do. He made me burn the rice though. That was his fault.
He made you burn the rice?
Yeah.
Really? That's what you're going with?
That's all I got.
That is all you got.
That is, yeah. Dude, that rice was so bad it wasn't even funny. So bad. That's what, when I did the dish presentation and I had the rice in a dish all on its own on the plate. It's because I was terrified that if it touched something, it would make taste like shit.
I'm just happy I finally got to use that meme for the perfect reason today.
Fair. I'm going to cut my broccoli. Just quick.
Shannon is noting that Amy saved you from burning down the house.
100% true.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could say that 5 times a day and you just change the end of the sentence.
I would have gone with six times a day.
You're down from 6? This is your metric?
It's you. Because, the conversion from US to American is like 30%.
How long have you and Amy been married?
So we've been married since November the 16th of 2019. But we've been together for a bajillion years.
Well, I mean, that's definitely how it felt for her, but like how long actually?
We've probably been together for probably 7 years, 8 years. Long time. Yeah, long time. She tolerates me, which I find glorious.
Tony's impressed you haven't burned anything yet.
I'm impressed.
I'm telling you, they're here waiting for a show.
Oh, ask Tony how his coffee business is going. I haven't seen the damn thing yet, brah.
What are we doing with the broccoli? I don't think you provided direction. I just see you chopping it up.
So I've headed the broccoli, and I'm just leaving the florets. Florets is a fancy term for these. So bite size, they shrink down anyways. I'm going to take a third of a stick of butter. And I'm going to put this butter in a pan with a couple glugs of olive oil. And this is going to be the basis. I'm basically making a cheap Alfredo, really. Butter, oil, a little bit of liquid, and Parmesan cheese to thicken up the broccoli. Basically. Clean pan.
Okay, so other than when you were on the show, learning to get food to the stove with somebody dressed up like a unicorn popping up every 2 minutes yelling at you to move it along. From a culinary perspective, what have you learned from the show?
To be more thoughtful. Food is an interesting journey, I suppose is the best way to put it. And you're a good example. I'm not kissing your ass because you don't need it as much as I do. But learning about basically, yeah. Learning about that Asian inspired kind of stuff, like cooking with lemongrass. Man, I haven't cooked with lemongrass in years, and I should. It's easy to, but you get kind of stuck in ruts. El Jefe was a good example because as much as I think I can open a package of taco seasoning, I know nothing about cooking Mexican food, nothing. So walking down when he says we're going to be making Mexican street tacos, legitimately I'm like, the fuck is a street taco? I had no idea. And forces you to go online and open up the Google and jump on the information superhighway and learn about different things. So I think that's the biggest takeaway for me is looking at the recipes week over week over week and going, oh, I have that, I can do that. So that for me is the thing.
Yeah, no, we've really done a pretty good job of taking a trip around the world. We had Hari last year, short of talking about how they eat reindeer that they've nailed to roofs. Lo Quieto, which I've never made a salmon soup before. That was wacky.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Janine last year with paella, so a Spanish dish. If you haven't made that, that's a great thing.
Did you get one of the big paellas?
I don't. I use whatever the largest pan I've got. And then all the way to authentic Cajun, almost like Kunas level with the gumbo we made the other week.
Yeah. That dude was
so that was the first time I'd actually done a true sofrito.
Yeah.
Burning the tomatoes on the bottom. He gave me a lot more confidence and no, let it burn. You want that black. And that's not something I'd ever got to on my own.
Fair. I've only ever done that sofrito kind of thing with eggplant, to cook eggplant on the fire stovetop.
Oh, you did eggplant pizzas the other week, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been dieting quite a bit because I want to lose some weight, so I'm trying to make some better decisions with food. Eggplant pizzas are glorious.
So I see a challenge in the chat about us making Cubanos. I love Cubanos. It's been requested a lot for me to do my own recipe on the show, and I haven't. But Thinker did have me on in December, so he had me and Lena on, and we each did a dish. And just since you mentioned the Cubanos, it reminded me of it. So I have perfected what I call the world's greatest grilled cheese sandwich.
There you go.
And there are all these different elements, but one of the things I think it's the most fun that really lets you keep it fresh is I use tempura in my grilled cheese. So I will batter fry onions, and then I'll batter fry other vegetables, and that's a part of it with prosciutto and then specific kinds of cheese. So that was a Thinker episode that's out there from December that I shared my sandwich recipe there. But I would love to make Cubanos. In fact, that'd be kind of fun to do tempura pickles.
Yeah, why not? Well, question for you. What's the dish you want to cook? Everybody kind of comes on, they get to choose their own meal, and you acquiesce to that meal. But what do you want to do?
Well, I made the coq au vin the other week.
Which
personally,
sensual.
What was that?
It looked almost sensual.
Again, I've gotten good at photography with food. Really, if I'm hosting a dinner here, 4 to 8 people, my favorite thing to make is I have spent a lot of effort perfecting a particular, I call it a French roast. That's obviously a coffee term, but it's the way I describe how I've kind of melded some different techniques. So I'll do a French roast chicken with a verde sauce, all with herbs from my garden. And it is just, there's something about when you get a roast chicken just right and it is fresh. Like it is a terrible leftover. Chicken as a leftover is terrible. That fresh in that verde sauce with whatever I serve it with is just like,
Really?
I love that. And that's my go-to. That would be my dish.
Well, for you people coming up on the show next.
What was that?
I said for all you people coming up on the show next.
Well, so it's really funny. Next week's guest is my brother.
I did see that. I noticed the last name.
Yeah, it's an uncommon last name, so you got to wonder. Yeah, my younger brother is coming on the show, and he is actually quite the chef as well.
Fair. Are you gonna tell everybody what you're cooking or no?
Oh, I haven't seen if he's posted yet. After the show, I'm gonna go shoot him a reminder and say, hey, you need to post the recipe a week in advance.
How are your veg?
What's that?
How are your veg?
Coming along. I'm now gonna add in my show you, but this is where I'm at right now. I'm just cooking it down. So I love shoyu. I love black garlic because it's just a little bit different, and I love shoyu. It's the kind of thing that keeps. You just kind of keep it there, and you can add it to almost anything. Just give a little bit extra, like zing, extra splash. It's almost impossible to even add too much.
That's what I like with ketchup. On my steak.
I mean it's kind of the same. Where I'll like drink a shot of that, and you just sit there and pour ketchup directly in your mouth. This is true. This is why I like cooking with you. Is we both are on the same level in completely different ways on different levels. There we go. Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've ever made?
I've tried to do a bunch of things. I used to cook not a lot, but I used to experiment with like different kinds of curries, like green curry, yellow curry, red curry, and then get into Asian kind of curries and Indian kind of curries. You can mess that up so quick, so simple, and burn it so fast. Those are a lot of fun to cook with, but curry is an interesting thing because you either love curry or you hate it. I'm a big fan personally. I love big flavors, but what about you? I can tell you the weirdest thing I've ever eaten.
Yeah, what's that?
Alligator.
That's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I mean, I've had chicken hearts and pig ears and stuff like that, and like pieces of long and Filipino food.
So my brother is actually the one. So he lived in Japan for a number of years. He did a year in Hong Kong.
Wow.
So he spent a lot of his adult life in overseas, and again, he's a fantastic cook. So he taught me how to make curry from scratch.
No joke.
And I think everybody should do one curry from scratch. It's fantastic. But then after that, just get the authentic little cans that you add, coconut milk to. And they are about, 90-95% is good. It's not quite all the way there, but just having these from the Asian store and throwing it in, and then whatever you want in it is, great way to get there.
For the on the West Indian side, or the Indian side, Lala's curry is amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Chicken as a leftover in chicken soup. Yes, chicken soup will last. That's also where if you don't season your chicken too much when you roast it, throw those bones in and you've got a great stock. Big fan of that. Cold chicken with spray butter is amazing. Give it a whirl.
Who the hell said that? Ban them. Kick them.
That's Blake. I don't know about that.
What is spray butter? What kind of weird American Midwest garbage is that?
So it's
Oh.
But, oil. I agree. Cow tongue is super difficult to get right. In the mid 80s, the Pig Testicle Festival in my hometown in central Illinois. The Rocky Mountain oysters. That is always a part of the heartland. What is like the Canadian equivalent to Rocky Mountain oysters?
Nothing.
Nothing?
There's no, I'm from Ontario, so there's not really a good Canadian culture food. Like,
is that a made-up name?
Say again?
Ontario, is that a made-up name? Is that like a real place?
Yeah, no. I just say Ontario because people think it's California.
Sorry, I forgot the name again. There's a country north of us. What was?
Yeah, that's America's hat.
Okay, and there's a place called
Ontario. Yeah.
Oh, Ontario. Okay, sorry.
It's a province that looks like a penis.
Well, someone's got to have one.
Yeah, God wasn't good to me. So in Ontario, there's not really a Canadian food like poutine is a good example. Poutine is a good Canadian food, but it's legitimately French fries, cheese, curd, and gravy. It's not all that complicated. When you go to like Quebec in that area, where the Acadie were, there's another food called tourtière, which is distinctly Canadian. That's a delicious Canadian.
Wait, say that again. What's it called?
Tière.
Tière.
Tourtière.
Oh, tourtière. I mean, cake-like.
Yeah, so it's like a meat. It's like a mince pie. It's like a mince.
Oh.
But that's definitely distinctly Canadian.
So it's a savory.
Yeah, very much so. Quebec.
I've been to Quebec. I did not have that, but I did have poutine. Did I pronounce it correct? Poutine.
Perfect.
I had it everywhere I could get it. I went to all the places. I went to like little hole in the walls. I went to fancy places. I wanted to try all of it. I missed a dish.
I love poutine. You can't go wrong. Poutine is good sober. Poutine is good drunk. Poutine is good happy. Poutine is good sad. Like, if you have cheese and gravy on something, how can it not be good?
Well, and conversely, like salty fried potatoes.
Yummy.
Tony claims to have a great meat pie recipe, so I'd love to see that. David says, poutine always tastes the same to me.
Oh, it's because you're an idiot. Sorry. How can it taste the same? It makes no sense.
I mean, different brown gravies, different kinds of squeaky cheese.
If you have it from the same place 5 times, it's going to taste the same. But whoever, what's his name, Dave?
Yeah, David. I think we have more than one Dave.
Come on over, Dave.
He's feeling the burn. I just saw Amy in the background. It's like, the sighting of an angel behind, Hi.
Closer.
I didn't smell any burning rice, so I wasn't sure if he had started cooking yet.
He was focusing on burning the water.
Oh.
Wow.
I taught him well. I just wanted to say hi.
Hello.
And I wanted to get that sick burn in about the
Boom!
Sick burn, indeed.
I love it. Hey.
That was painful.
Yeah.
That was painful. So I'm just going to check on my chicken, not choke my chicken.
I've been waiting for you to make that joke all night. Not because it's a good joke, just because you're that predictable.
When you cook with chicken, you must take your temperature and make sure that it's at least 35 degrees for chicken sashimi. So I'm 145 in the center right now. It's only 10 minutes for the chicken.
David would like it if you continued to focus on burning the water, burning your house, burning anything other than him.
Okay. David, I'm sorry for burning you. I didn't mean to offend you. I hope everything's okay. And shut your face. Or you get the karate chop to your butthole. The butthole karate chop will come. Sorry.
And I knew you'd work that one in again. I'm curious. What was the inspiration for that the first time?
with Rob? You know,
It was with Rip, right?
Yeah. Yeah. When you had asked me to host that show and he was the first person that I was going to be with, Rob and I have a good relationship. So, you know, we have not a combative, not by any stretch, but you know, he'll kind of insult me and I'll insult him. And I figure since I was going to be the one hosting, I was going to be the one in control, which is not the case in Unicorn Chef. So I came up with 10 questions that I wanted to ask Rob, and they were each in like an elevating sense of insanity. So he stung me back with something, and it was good, and I had no retort, nothing. I'm like, I'm going to karate chop your butthole. That's all I had.
Yes, you do tend to go low when you are at a loss for words.
Shorty got low. 50 Cent taught me that.
Do you have like deployable knee pads?
And you know, it's actually they get paid by my insurance company.
I think we now have an official tagline. If you're hosting, you run the roasting. That is brilliant. That is really good. Karen?
That's pretty dead.
Salute.
Is that Geek Mom K?
Hey, salute her. All right.
I love her. She's glorious.
Oh, you've been corrected. That's Flo Rida, not 50 Cent.
Oh well, you know, you can tell that my experience on rap music is very limited. And who corrected? It was Karen that corrected me, didn't she? She's terrible that way. I think the next thing we need to do is a GoFundMe to get her a better car. Just saying. You know, she does lots of knitting. She's never knit me a hat. Never. My head freezes.
I mean, to be fair, like that's at least the GDP output of an entire year of yarn.
I told her I would pay half in installments.
It's not really a question of money. I think it's just a question of supply.
Can you imagine that poor sheep is like, no, not him, you motherfucker, don't shear me.
You think a sheep?
That's fair. Two? You think 2 or 4?
1,000?
Fair. Yeah, no, I can be on board with that.
I mean, I know that NASA tracks, the 8 modern wonders of the world, and then the 9th one is how your head reflects into space.
That is true. Yeah. It's hard too because I'm trying to wait for my 5G vaccine so I can amplify better. I want to actually talk to the Mars rover.
Jennifer says she'll knit you a hat. You have to wear it. And by the way, she calls you Ellis, so you are on a last name basis.
Wow. I don't know who Jennifer is, but Jennifer, send me a hat. I will wear it. If there's, I hope the people in chat can confirm for you that I don't do anything. I don't care. I'm good.
This is true. The problem is just you're now associated with it for eternity.
Yeah, if you could give me 24 hours to think about it, counsel is guiding me in the correct direction. I think I don't want to be stuck with it, but I do want to be stuck with it. I just have this vision of this like gigantic penis out the side of my head while I'm flying somewhere for business.
Apparently, you should know who Akuda is.
Oh yeah, all right, Garrett.
Jennifer Akuda.
Oh, Jenny Okuda. You little shit. Goodness gracious.
I believe I counseled you on the scatological references earlier.
True. Sorry.
Smack yourself. Shan says she has no idea what the fuck we're cooking.
Well, it's baking. What do you want?
So to recap, we rendered bacon. You don't want it quite like full crispy like you would on a Sunday morning. You want it about 3/4, to quote Mike. Take the bacon out, throw onions in, dredge butterflied chicken through, I used flour, egg, and panko. He made little chicken boats. I went more of a classic, like, stuffed chicken. Mine's Asian inspired. His was flavored with garlic, cumin, salt, and pepper. And then he is doing rice and broccoli in a pseudo Alfredo sauce, which is just butter and Parmesan.
Yeah. And if nobody registers chickenboast.com, then you're dumb. That's the new TikTok.
Is Mike going to take a bite out of that half stick of butter?
No. I mean, if somebody's going to donate to the SPCA, yeah.
Mike's baking chicken of the sea. Well, I think you phrased that incorrectly, Steve. He's making chicken that should go in the sea.
That hurts, Steve. I don't know what Steve that is. I know a couple of them.
Yeah, I mean, all these people with their like generic names, it's really hard.
If it's the Steve from Canada who taught me how to cook, if it's Steve from Twitter, you're a dead man. I know where you live.
I don't think it's Fitz.
No.
Oh, different Steve. Oh, Geek Steve.
Yeah.
No, I think it's actually, no, I think it's that one. Hey, I can't see the profile and I don't see the last name, but I'm guessing with it is. So how far are you away from actually putting something on a plate?
Probably 6 minutes.
6 minutes?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
It was 145 in the center when I pulled it. And that was around. I could take a check now. Hang on. It might be there.
Okay, I'm gonna take a bite of my bok choy.
That's what she said.
That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, the chicken is actually quite firm. That might be good.
Shan also summarized my 30 to 60 second elevator pitch too. Chicken boats with burned rice and microwave broccoli. Got it.
Yep, she's the next one. What did I said I was going to sue her next, right?
That's an empty threat. You don't have any money.
One day I might.
I mean, I'd take bets on that one too.
Amy works. Shut up. You guys are mean.
Yeah, we're well aware of how you ride the coattails in a lot of ways.
Yeah, duh. All right, I'm plating.
You're plating?
Yep.
All right. So this one really is going to be fun because we did really two very different takes on a similar kind of meal. And since I did mine Asian style, I get to zhuzh it up with toasted tuxedo sesame seeds.
Well, aren't you Captain Fancy Pants?
Yeah, I get to cheat. Ready when you are, sir. And I use that term loosely.
Can't blame you.
Boom. Mike, thank you again for covering down on a sad day. Also, speaking of that, please remind everybody of what our charity is.
I would, if you can, donate your time or donate some money to your local SPCA. Spend a little bit of time with an animal. Donate a cat toy, bag of food. They love us. We love them. They need us. We need them.
Tune in next week where you can join me in roasting my brother, who has all of the psychological damage of decades of being my younger brother. It's going to be great. I think I might even bring Mike in to jump in occasionally to egg that on, because that'll be fun. I don't know what we're cooking yet. I will be harassing him for that. As always, we'd love to see what you're making. So #UnicornChef, share your pics. And if you have ideas on other folks you'd like to see on the show, shoot them to us. We're actually almost completely booked through the rest of the year, but still always add everyone to the list. So bon appetit.
One love.
Oh, sorry. All right.